Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to my podcast, Mindful Drinking for Women, which is about exactly that, just that, how to drink mindfully. You can be a man too, female identifying. I welcome you all. That's just what it's called, Mindful Drinking for Women. I help women get unobsessed with drinking alcohol by getting really honest with themselves about why they are over drinking in the first place and how to replace harmful drinking habits with empowered mindfulness, which includes the ability to drink less or to choose not drinking at all. Hi, my name is Jessica Betancourt. I'm a certified life coach and hypnotherapist specializing in addiction transformation. And in today's podcast, I'd love to talk to you about why changing your habits or relationship with alcohol is an inside job. Change comes from within, right? We've all heard that. But what does this really mean? It means that the outside world, reality as we call it, is a reflection of whatever is going on within you internally. So if you want to change reality, if you want to experience a different life experience, you've got to start from within. You got to go within to see change without. So, if you like learning about the spiritual laws of the universe, this is the law of correspondence. And this law states that patterns repeat throughout the universe. And on a personal level, our reality is a mirror of what's happening inside us at the moment. So, as long as we keep internal patterns functioning, we see the same patterns repeating externally, which is why we end up dating the same person over and over with a different name, different pair of pants, whatever. We end up getting fired in the same way. We're just reliving and recreating circumstances over and over because we're not going in and doing the internal work. And once you do, and once you are able to do that, and once you realize that it's not as scary as you might imagine it to be, it becomes actually very liberating, freeing, fun even. And your external world changes to reflect that. So this is like the easiest way of creating habit change. It's fun, and it changes everything in your life as well, not just the drinking habit, which is what makes it so cool and so worthwhile. So this law of correspondence is also known as above, so below. Within the macrocosm lies the microcosm, as within, so without. And you could also simply say, what you think about, you bring about. What you're thinking about, you're bringing about. So the way to win the mindful drinking game of alcohol, the mindful drinking of alcohol game, rather, wherein you become the chooser instead of the victim of yourself, is to internally change the thought patterns that keep you coming back to the bottle in a way that feels more like succumbing than conscientiously choosing. So if you're doing well, like say for a few days, oh, I didn't drink for a few days, but it just feels like torture. And then you just give in and have that drink and you just don't even feel good about it. And it's accompanied by a bunch of guilt and shame. You've got work to do. You're not going to feel successful. You're not going to feel good about creating change the strong arm method. It might work for you, like it does work for some people, and you can count the days you've stayed sober. Or you can turn your eyes inward, take an internal approach, do the inner work, and have all of that habit change just take care of itself. It will follow suit with how you change yourself in an internal aspect. Ah, yes, yes, yes. So when you begin to change your thought patterns, you will notice that you automatically desire to drink less. It won't feel like forcing or willing yourself to not drink. You will just naturally prefer less or no alcohol because you're systematically changing your internal environment. And the way that you behave externally must match what you are creating internally. So most people's approach is to go the other way around. But what I find and what I've learn for myself and what I see with my clients and with other people is that's just a big pain in the ass. And it feels like a huge drain on mental energy. It feels like even more consuming than just having the drink in the first place. And you don't have to live like that. There are other options. There are other ways. This is why rules don't work. This is why diets don't work. We're not designed to live in these sort of self-imposed constraints. There are other ways, which is to liberate yourself internally. Free yourself from what you're afraid of. Face what you fear. Heal your emotions. Learn to see your thoughts and to change your thoughts and to stop yourself when you're having negative thoughts, shitty thoughts about yourself, which then drive you to have unhealthy behavior or self-harming behavior. You got to flip that around. And this does not happen overnight. Let's just be clear about that. It requires cultivating a mindfulness practice as a part of your life. It requires being with yourself. It requires showing up for yourself, and it requires effort in allowing yourself to experience your feelings rather than trying to turn them off with alcohol or make them go away or pretend they're not there. Feeling your feelings actually becomes quite exquisite when you just allow it to happen. And when you begin this, there are some big buried ones, and they might feel explosive or really intense, but that will dwindle with time. That will become easier with time. So the more you sit on top of it and just like push it down, it's just like a volcano. It's going to explode. It's going to erupt. And that's natural. Allow that to happen. And it might only have to happen a couple times in the beginning once you do start doing this work. And then after that, it's just like, oh, feelings, my natural feelings. And feelings have messages for you. They're not for nothing. We want them. So, yeah. When you do begin to do this, you realize that what you were afraid of, everything you've been hiding from, poses no real threat to you. It will not kill you. It will liberate you. And even more exciting, everything that you want is on the other side of your fear. That is the secret to living a more thrilling life, more exciting life, is to move through your fear. And it's brief and temporary in comparison to shying away from it, turning away from it, drowning it out with alcohol for unforeseen days, weeks, months, years into the future. We don't know how long we're here, so let's not fuck around. Creating change, creating real change takes some time and patience, some gentleness with yourself. So when you think about playing the long game and being in it as a way of life rather than some quick fix that when it doesn't seem to be working out for you, just say, what the hell, and go back to your old ways. No, it doesn't work like that. You've got to think in terms of your mortality. What do you want for your life, for the rest of your life? Who do you want to be? How do you want to function? Do this in an internal manner first. Because when we want to change some aspect of our lives, we cannot expect to superficially create long-term change by using acts of will or doing something different once and then expecting it to make a difference. You don't just go for a run once and eat a salad one day and then get mad when you don't instantly lose 5 pounds. Likewise, you won't become a successful, mindful drinker with one day of meditation. You've got to build mindfulness into your life and your lifestyle as a daily habit. And you take on the identity and the practices of someone who is living what you want to be living. So if that is hangover and regret-free mornings, what is that person who has that? What are they doing that you could emulate? For me, I needed to become someone who stopped thinking about daily meditation and actually just doing it, embodying it every single day until it became an automatic habit. I became someone who craved spiritual communion and connection, and so I started doing that, not just thinking about it. Embodying it changed the way I felt internally. And the way I felt internally was shifting and becoming different, and that was showing up in just what I chose to do with my time. And even though I drink a little bit here, it's nothing like what it used to feel like, where I had to have it, like slamming my arm like a junkie. It's like I could have a glass of wine, sure, but it's certainly not as appealing as it used to be. It doesn't hold the same weight because I've changed so much in an internal landscape first. Drinking actually means really nothing to me, whereas it used to be everything. So, like, for example, I wanted to see more patience and groundedness with my kids. So I had to prioritize being that within myself first before I began to see their behavior change. And it did change simply as a result of how I was changing my internal world. Inner work comes first. Then you see, witness, experience the results. Because the cause is you, and the effect is freedom from wishing to escape yourself. Begin within. And I will go further into this in upcoming episodes. And until next time, I'm wishing you magical happenings on your healing journey from alcohol. And please come connect with me via the Blessed Vida link in the show notes. I'll see you next time. Drink some delicious lemon water and have a beautiful day.